So, for those of you that follow the channel, you'll know I've just returned from North Wales in the inaugural trip with the Red Dwarf. I nearly spat my words out then, but we did 500 miles and it felt great, which means now I've returned, I've got one thing on my mind, and that is ripping it out a little bit more so we can finally turn it into the camper van it needs to be. Unfortunately, the reality of it is that just like life, sometimes things need to get a little bit worse before they can get better. And now I think about it, that's quite like an STD, where you need to let the rash come out before you can put the cream on to clear it up. Probably not a very good analogy, but the reality of it is I want to start ripping the front seats out so I can then rip the headboard strip out. Oh no, that's something you bang in the middle of the night. The bulkhead strip out so that we can then pull the carpet back and run a DC to DC cable and a few other bits at the same time. I'll let you in on a little bit of a secret before we start though. I'm not the best when it comes to handyman skills. The reality of it is I've never even hung a picture in my house ever in my life, so this is a little bit out of my comfort zone and we're all gonna need to strap in a little bit because it could be quite a rough ride. Now, for the most part, I think I know what I'm doing. I've watched a couple of TikTok videos and 3 YouTube shorts, and I've gathered that I should have most of the tools I need, and I know where to start undoing things. Firstly though, I have to admit, I feel like I've been abused, or rather the van situation may have been abused a little bit by somebody who shall remain nameless, because we've got a lot of crap in the back. Yeah, someone saw a space and started sticking it in because there's a few bits lying around that needed clearing out. So we are gonna need to do a skip run before we can start ripping more stuff out. I warned you, this one's gonna be chaotic. Let's get down the skip. Ah, bobbing full effect. Come to lift the heavy stuff. Little bit of a mad one, this one as well. I've got a vintage bicycle to throw away here. And some of you had said, because I posted it on Facebook, that this was a rally banana and it was worth some money. It's actually not. The rally bananas are only worth about 150 quid. But this is a rally Shimano, or Shimera, and it's a 5-speed, and I had that when I was about 13, 14 years old, many decades ago. And in a way, it's a shame to throw a bit of a legend of the bicycle era into the skip, but I don't think anyone's going to want it. Needs must. Well, looking good. I can finally see the front of the van. One slight problem, however, the bulkhead. Can't get rid of it because it's not household waste, is it? That's gonna have to go down the scrapyard pretty soon as well before I start getting some nice fancy stuff kitted out in the back here. For now, let's get back to the homestead and start taking those seats out. Okay. Back at the homestead, and for the most part the van's kind of cleared out. I think we need to crack on and see how easy it is to remove this seat, and more specifically see how far we get before we need to go and buy some more tools. It's gonna happen. I'm just hoping we can get the majority of it done before then. See, from what I gather, or what I can gather, there's 8 of these bolts. But before I start undoing those, I need to take this fuse board out. Oh, it doesn't actually. Oh, it does look like a fuse board. Yeah, a weird one. And from what I've heard, you need a special tool. And I already know. It's a T30 security Torx bit. And guess what? We haven't got one. I'd watched a couple of videos and none of them mentioned it until the one I watched this morning. Now I know. That's as far as we can get before we have to go and get some more tools. Right, let's head to B&Q. Well, it might be night time, but B&Q's still open. Happy days. Well, this could be quite a hunt trying to find what I want down here. Wow. Well, believe it or not, stop the clock, because I think I've actually found what I want. A T30 Torx bit security styling. I just hope it's that bit on the top and they come out of those. They look like they do. We do also actually need one more power tool. I think I need to get an angle grinder so I can actually grind out the, well, they're not spot welds, but some sort of welding on the actual bulkhead strip. Okay, it's fair to say they do have a massive selection of power tools here, including the Ryobis, and it would be nice to match up the Ryobi, or rather my Ryobis, with an angle grinder, but it's 80 quid. So I think I'm going to match the angle grinder up with one of my other tools, and you OGs from the channel will remember it. Look, they've got a McAllister angle grinder. That'll match up with that little tool I used to take the condensation off my window screen. The McAllister. We're winning and we're ready to go. Well, day 2 then, and having gone down the skip and emptied everything and then gone down B&Q and bought all the tools, we're now ready to start the job. Although we're not, are we? We've got to go back to bloody B&Q because I bought these, the security torque things, but they're socket ones, aren't they? They're not the ones that will go in the end of a drill or screwdriver, so they need changing. And then, absolutely amazing, and someone will get a giggle out of this, last night I was trying to put the disc onto this grinder following the instructions in the book, and I couldn't do it. Those of you that know what you're talking about will already see the mistake here. There's a thing missing off the end of the screw there which holds the disc into place. It's not in the box, it's nowhere to be seen, so I'm going to go down B&Q and replace it. At some point in this video, I have a feeling maybe we might start ripping out some chairs, but just not yet. Give me a minute. Okay, the good news is we've finally got the actual T30 Torx security bolt that we need. But the bad news is I went down to B&Q in the Galaxy and it started smoking from the engine and not the injector. I popped into the mechanic and apparently it's a turbo. So we'll have to have a look at that one next week. For now, what I'm thinking is, because I've not even started yet and I'm already chasing my tail, is I'm going to set a time lapse. One of them jiggery pokey things with cuts and music, and we'll see how long it takes me. I think I'll probably see you in the morning. Well, I thought I might have a little bit of a pit stop because I'm theoretically halfway, or maybe at the end. I don't know how far this is going to go. If I can't get anything back in and after this is the end. But I've managed to get all the passenger seat out and the driver's seat and some metal-y strips bits, and now I've just got the bottom bit and one side bit to go. And we've got some very helpful feet over here with quite hairy legs, if I'm honest.
Told you.
Fingers crossed I can get it all put back together at some point this week.
Opening, closing, all in one day. Blue sky, then violent rain. Feeling the dirt shift, sensing the change. The dog has been shaking outside.
Well, happy to announce a few days later and I've actually done a thing. All the front has been ripped out and reorganised and put back together. It's a bit of a surprise. I'll show you in a minute, and don't get your hopes up too high. There's really not much to see. Really not much to see. But what I thought we'd do is, to celebrate that I've actually done a thing, is head out for a little bit. There's a spot that I want to show you guys, really nice, hopefully if the weather holds out we can get a little bit of a droney of it, cook up a little bit of a feed and talk some shop, or more specifically talk about where I'm going with the van. It's about one warm coffee's drive away and a little bit of radio 2, so give me a minute and I'll see you there. Radio 2. Oh my days, I didn't even know those things still existed. Imagine getting one of them and turning it into a car camper. Funny story, my grandma, who used to be in a wheelchair for most of her life, used to have one of those Robin Reliance and drove it for years. And at one point she had a bit of an accident with it. She was going around a roundabout and she rolled it. She ended up being on her side. I mean, she was in her 60s at the time, so it wasn't really that funny. And I think a load of people sort of stopped and rescued her by just rolling the car back over, and away she went. It did no damage to the car, but it did knock her confidence a little bit. But hey ho, imagine that as a car camper. Oh, imagine that as a car camper. Oh dear, looks like somebody came racing down here and didn't quite make the corner. Oh wow, I really hope they're okay. Damn, that looks a mess. Seem to remember as well, somewhere down here you can actually park up. I don't know where. I thought it was on the side of the bridge here. Maybe it is. Oh my god, that was a dip. Damn it, where can I park up? Oh yes. Oh wow, look at that for an autumn shot. Beautiful with the sun glistening through. And oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through the side door, but the van's parked and there's plenty of space for people to get by. It took me about 10 minutes to find this spot. What a nightmare. First things first though, let me show you what I've done to the place. Don't get your hopes up. Ta-da! Not a lot. Or rather, not really a lot that's noticeable. Yes, the double seats come out from the passenger, but what I've actually spent my time doing is taking out, for some of you that don't know, is what's called the bulkhead strip. Basically, before we had the bulkhead in there, big piece of metal, and it's held in with bolts and such, but it also has a metal strip that goes round the edge, all along the floor there, and up the other side. And really, well, that should have been the first job I ever did before I even started the installation. More so because it created an absolute massive amount of mess. Spent about 2 hours wiping down the whole of the back end of this van again yesterday for about the 20th time, because all the swarf from that had just blown in there. Luckily I covered the front, so most of the dash and all that was clear, but the back was a mess. Now I do have something that's gonna go in the front here. Spoiler alert, a single seat and not a swivel as yet, but I haven't put it back in for a number of reasons. I'm waiting on clips and bits. I've got some blanking plates that will go in those 4, but also I've been waiting on these to arrive, and they arrived this morning. Some are for the door panels, which I'll use in the future, and these are basically for the B-pillar trim that's on there. Now there's another reason I haven't put that back on yet, obviously because I haven't got the passenger seat in, but I'm toying with the idea of running the DC to DC cable. And in here is what's going to plug into it. This is the Charger 1 from Bluetta. Then not to get too techie because it's not that video, but yeah, the Charger 1 is basically going to plug in to the battery on the car, the van, and then it will recharge the power station as I drive along at 500 watts per hour. And it comes with everything you need. All the DC to DC cable. It's even got an isolator switch on there. The one thing it doesn't have is a fuse on the other end that goes into the actual van battery. But the problem with this is I don't think it's going to be long enough. Wow, and now I've laid it out, maybe it is. This is actually the first time I've laid this cable out in this van to see its length. It looks a bit shorter in the box, but I've got two kind of issues with this cable. The first is which way to run it. Should I run it this way behind the passenger seat and sort of, it will be under the carpet, out of sight and mind, and then down the back? Or the other option is to drop it through the grommet hole and go behind the dashboard and do a similar thing down the driver's side. It's going to be a pain, you know it will be, trying to get behind that bloody dashboard. This is probably going to be the easiest option, but will it be tighter? I don't think it will show. But should I go down the glove box route? The thing is, there's some jobs in this van as I'm building it out that I don't really ever want to do again, and that's one of the jobs. Let me explain a little bit, because this is where this cable also comes into effect moving forward. But before I explain, I don't think it'll actually be an option. I want to be able to put this power station anywhere in the van at some point, and I think it's all I have to do is get a long solar cable and I can put it anywhere. That can sit anywhere in the van. It's not a problem. You see, the thing is, like I've alluded to before, I really would like, moving forward, to do 3 different builds in this van. The first one, like I've mentioned, is just going to be something basic that I can put together that works for me. But a few months after that, moving down the line, hopefully as I get things organised, I want to rip it out again and do a quintessential U-shaped V-dub build. At that point, I'm probably going to put a max air fan in the booth so I can cook over the way. And then further down the line, I then want to rip it out again and put a pop top roof in and the quintessential V-dub build with the rock and roll rocker bed in the back. So 3 separate builds. So having these cables laid in the right position or long enough to move around in the first instance is key. But as we've seen now, laying it out is all I need to do is put that anywhere I want and get an extendable cable to run that to wherever the power station sits. It's a perfect setup, and I think I can use this cable to run it. The only problem I'm going to have now, and I'll be honest with you, most of this stuff in the van, I can do a YouTube video, do a bit of research and get on with it. But the electrics, hooking this up to the main battery with a fuse in there, yeah, I'm not too au fait with. We'll see how we go. But I do think this has answered my own question. Brilliant. It's also the reason, and this is going to sound very odd, why I'm not going to carpet this whole van on this first build, because at some point I want to cut that window out, or that area there, to then put a window in. And I think, and I'd be intrigued in the comments, if I carpet this van now, when I try and cut it out, I won't get a nice carpet smooth finish on my windows. So I think it's worth doing after I've put the windows in. We'll do the panels first and it'll look funky. But yeah, I'd be intrigued to know what you think about actually doing those windows. Wow, sounds like the old steam train's running by. Somewhere over yonder. It does actually run down here. What a shame we've just missed it. I think it's the Ivanhoe line, which runs, as you can hear, an old steam train, and was the train station that we stopped at a few episodes ago, right down the way. It runs a particular route up and down. More of a touristy thing, but it is nice. It's like a Harry Potter style train. Anyway, for now, I'm starving. Let's get some munchies on. And this is a bit of a weird one. We need a debate. Oh, bloody hell. Oh. I'm not going to have anything I can use. I know I've not. I've got plastic plates. Oh, look. Here's my dilemma. I brought some bacon. Don't look, that's tonight's meal. Sneaky, spoiler alert. Yeah, I bought some bacon. Oh man, where did I leave the bread? Oh. And some bread and 2 mouldy mushrooms. I was going to do a bacon sandwich. Now, I don't believe it's possible to cook bacon in a microwave, but I think I'm in the minority because I think a lot of people do actually cook bacon in the microwave, and I want to know, is it possible? I do remember back in the day, you used to be able to buy these weird plastic things that you lay your bacon on that then went in the microwave. So theoretically you can do, but I won't be doing it today because all I've got is a plastic plate and that's just gonna bloody melt in there. I'm gonna have to do it the authentic way, burn it on the Ruddy Ridge Monkey, classic. But I want to know, can I cook bacon in a microwave or not? I don't know. Not today though. Oh, for dumb's sake, Murphy's Law, you suck every time. Buttered bread the wrong side down on the floor, you know, Murphy's Law sucks. I seem to remember that was a thing as well, didn't the BBC on some programme at some point? They did some investigations and scientific experiment that flipped a piece of buttered bread 100 times and counted how many times it landed buttered side down. I mean, theoretically, you got to think like the buttered side probably weighs a little bit more, doesn't it? So it's more of a tendency to do that. But no, it's not that. It was Murphy's Law. 75 out of 100, buttered side down. I don't know, I can't remember, but it was definitely more than not. Oh, finally, a bit of scran for the belly. I've had no breakfast this morning. I've been running around like a blue-arse fly. Basically had to shit the bed to get up at 8 o'clock to take the Galaxy down to the garage. And good news is, he's just called me and it's ready. So I think what we'll do, as this is totally a hodgepodge of an episode, I'm gonna munch this up and then we'll go down and pick it up and see what the prognosis is. I should say as well, in the next episode, I am planning on heading out somewhere to a little destination for a night out in the wilds, but I feel today's episode is just going to be a bit of everything. Ow! God damn, what was that? Ow! Is that it? No. Ow! That really hurts. Oh, crap. I thought I was going to do the Obama thing. You know, like legendary Fu Manchu or whatever it was from the Karate Kid. I wish I hadn't bothered. Bloody hell. Oh, you're not going to see it, but there's actually an indent or something. Maybe it's the sting in my hand. Oh, I think it is. Shit. Anyway, we haven't got any time for messing. Let me munch this up. Let me get downtown to pick up the Galaxy. Oh, maybe a plaster as well.
The night fades like a whispered song as time rushes on. Oh, it won't be long, fading now into a memory, a picture on the wall, a moment frozen.
Well, aren't I the happy little bunny? Not only did it turn out to not be the turbo and it turned out to be a split water pipe, but it also means that I've just found myself yet another genuinely awesome mechanic that's not going to rip me off. Thing with it was, one mechanic looked at that while the engine was cold and it did seem like there was gunk around the turbo pipe, which led to him thinking it was that. This morning when I brought it in, it was running hot and we could see a little bit of coolant coming out. And the thing also is, it was running brilliant. I was a little bit apprehensive about taking the turbo out because it seemed in my mind that it was running smooth. That smoke literally just started in an instant when I came downtown to B&Q. So I guess the pipe just split there and then. Happy days, always nice. Right, back to the homestead and let's go grab the van, find a spot for the evening to cook up a feed and have another little chat about shop. The van. Bit of greenery out the side door. And a bit of sundown. Oh, and more greenery. Might have backed up a bit far. Out the back door. Oh, legend. Yeah, really did back up too far. And let there be light. I've got to be honest as well. I know it does look absolutely lovely. I mean, it really is. But fucking dude. It's blowing a chuffy noolie. I can't deal with that while I cook. And yes, we are about to cook with a microwave. Could actually be quite a short-lived cooking session this evening, and my chances of burning stuff are also very minimal. Here's the thing though, I've had a little bit of time to think about that DC to DC cable. You see, that is going to be, like we said earlier, perfect if we use a power station. But what if, when I come to the third build, when I'm having the rock and roll bed and all the cupboards and such and kitchen area in here, what if the power unit doesn't fit in there anymore and I want to go to sort of an old school lithium battery? Then that cable won't be long enough. These are the qualms and the weird things that I'm trying to work out as I go along. Yeah, I guess I could rip it all out and do it again, but wouldn't it be nicer not to have to? For now though, let's not worry about that, because I've taken the liberty of bringing a little Asian thing with me. It's a sweet and sour chicken egg fried rice thing. Yeah, Asian and sweet. Oh, not curry-fied. Legend. Oh. That actually splashed me. Even when I'm not doing any real cooking, it's still chaos. Nightmare. This is going to be confusing. It's supposed to take 7 minutes. Oh, damn. Yeah, that needs a better position to live. Yeah, 7 minutes on an 800 watt microwave. This is 700 watts, so I figure 8 minutes. Honestly, if I've just killed the microwave, I'm going to be in big trouble. It's plugged in. Oh, I didn't turn the AC off when I plugged it in. Oh no. Oh God. Oh, I am wondering if the door was actually shut properly. Hang on. Oh, please. Yes! Winning. Oh, so relieved. Not only can we actually eat a cooked meal, but I can enter the homestead in relief tonight. I'm not saying there would have been a massive shitting about it or anything, but it would have been fuel for the fire. I don't know if you see that. That's a bit of a weird anomaly, you know, one of them. That says 700 watts on there, but that says 1200. I don't know which to believe. They're conflicting, and they shouldn't be. That is odd. Smells good though, and it is cooking, so hey ho. Nice as well though, that you can chuck a 1200 watt electrical device on here and not have to worry about it. Good news as well, it didn't make too much of a mess of the microwave. Happy days. Should say as well, what a perfect little meal to end sort of a decent little session episode on the van. I'll be honest, I've really enjoyed doing all this. And I think there was a few keys to it being so enjoyable. One was actually knowing what I was doing, because I watched a million YouTube videos. But the second was having the tools to do the job. There was a little bit of a belt sander I would have liked to have had to take off that weld around the strips, but I went in with an angle grinder instead. And the whole job was doable because I had the tools. And also, I've actually been able to do a pretty good job. That trim and everything looks exactly the same as it did before I took it off. I've checked it on videos, which I'm really sort of, you know, not proud of, but I'm just chuffed with, because I did it, and it doesn't always go back, those sort of things, how they looked before. So far, door panels, B-pillar trims, yeah, it's been okay and I've done all right. No, I'm not buying it. That's not like that. Where's my green bits? And my red peppers and my green peppers. They're just peas. We've been robbed. Also, and I've said it before, a lot of things taste like they smell. And this smells divine. Yet it doesn't taste it. It's rather lame. But I think I'm going to munch it anyway, because I've had little to eat today. And then I think I'm going to tidy the van up, get our things together, and head back to the homestead, because I've got a busy day tomorrow. I want to do a few bits to this van before we head out on a little misadventure. So for now, I really hope you've enjoyed this one. I didn't plan it to go down the way it has, but it's just turned out we've managed to get a few bits done in the van, and some behind the scenes footage of how chaotic it is in the wondering where world actually trying to get these things done. If you did enjoy it, then all the good stuff, and whatever you're getting up to, take care of yourselves, take it easy, enjoy the camp, stay stealthy, and I hope to see you in the next.